Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of It's Tom's Life. I'm Tom, and in this episode, we're going to be going through my January 2021 budget. What this means is I'm going to be breaking down my income, and I'm going to be going through every item of where I'm going to spend that money, whether it be paying off debt, paying towards savings, and paying towards bills and regular expenses. Now, I have taken the decision to push back my debt-free date. I am looking to actually increase my Baby Step 1 emergency fund. Currently that sits around £1,000, and I'm going to be adding another £1,000 to make that 2,000. I'm doing this just because I think, as the last year has shown us, you can never be too prepared for what happens in this crazy world. But that does mean that instead of taking another around about 2 months as I thought before, it will be another 4 months or so before I'm 100% debt free. Overall, the impact of this will be that I'll be paying a bit more in interest on my existing debts, but I think for the short term, I'd rather have that safety blanket in place at the start of the year, just increase that baseline emergency fund just a little bit, and it will give me that peace of mind that if anything should happen in the new year, that I'll be in a better position because I'll have more cash available. Now, as this is the first time I've done a budget on this channel, I'm going to actually do it slightly different to how I'll probably do it going forwards. I'm actually going to be doing it from scratch. I'm going to be using a website that I've been working on called Noola Budget. At the start of last year, I did do budgets manually using spreadsheets in Excel, but as a web developer by trade, I thought it was a good opportunity to take what I'd made in Excel and turn it into a web application. So I'm going to be showing you that today as well. So I have actually already created my budget in advance, so I won't be making these numbers up in this video. I have them written down in my notebook, and I'm going to be filling in my budget and showing you where my income is going. The first thing I'll just show you quickly is how this works and where everything is tracked. So the three main items and areas of this website are at the top here. We have our budget, which is where we'll spend most of this video, but we also have sections for funds, which are sinking funds. If you don't know what sinking funds are, I'll make a whole video about that, but essentially it's just savings where you save a certain amount each month for a bigger expense. And we also have the debts tab, and this is where we keep track of our debt. So first I'm going to go to debt actually, and we can see that my debt on my credit card is £2,124.06. At the start of this year it was around about 19,000. The most it was 23,000. So I've actually worked really hard this year to tackle that debt, and I'm so close to paying that off. Next I'm going to go to funds, and we can see a lot of boxes here. These are all the things I want to save for this year. The main ones being my emergency fund. My 3 to 6 months emergency fund goal is £8,000. I also have some other items in here like Christmas, for example. I have a tax bill coming up at the end of next year. I also have a moving fund, which will help me move into hopefully a bit of a nicer apartment during the next year as well. We also have holiday fund and clothing fund. These are just pots of money that I can save towards for bigger expenses when I need them, so it doesn't have such a big impact on my overall budget for that month. So great, let's go into budgeting for January 2021. As you can see here, I have two options. Normally what I would do is click this button here. What this will essentially do is take all of the budget items from last month and bring them into the current month. So it's based on the previous month, and it's much easier that way. But because this is the very first time I've shared my budget, I'm actually going to do it from scratch. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I have all of my budget items actually already done here, but this is just to show you how this application works, just for future reference. So the first thing I'm going to do is create my income group, and I can simply just call this income. And currently I only have one source of income, which is my salary. I'm hoping to build one or two other streams of income. Something else I want to point out is that my salary I put here isn't my actual salary. It's my salary minus my charity contributions. This helps me have some privacy in regards to what my salary actually is and how much I give to charity, and it's just a way, as I said, to give me that little bit of privacy. but it's more or less around this amount. So I'm going to add my salary as an item, and for my salary this will be £2,082.45. What's great about this tool is that now on the right hand side it tells me how much money I have left to budget for, and this means I can create what's known as a zero-based budget. So all of my income equals all of my expenses. In other words, income minus expenses should be zero. So let's start adding some outgoing items. The first thing, the most important thing I will add is my debt payment. And this month I'm planning on paying off £402.70. As I said at the start, this would have been more, but I'm going to be using some of my money to build up my starter emergency fund just a little bit more at the start of the year. So let's do that next. So I'm going to scroll down. I forgot to mention, but on this app as well, it gives us an option to add items directly from the side. It makes it much easier. So I'm going to be adding my emergency fund. I'm also going to be adding my gifts fund and holiday, and actually the rest of these as well. So you can see that these have been added to my budget. For my emergency fund, I'm going to be adding £500. For gifts, I'm going to be adding 20, holiday 20, moving fund 100, tax bill 100, and Christmas 20. The reason I've chosen these amounts for these funds is so that by the time it comes to when I need that money, it will be fully funded and I won't have to add any more. So that's my debts and funds out the way. Next, I'm going to be adding my household bill items. So these aren't funds or debts, so I need to create a manual outgoing expense group. So to do that, I just click the button, and instead of income like before, we'll choose outgoing. And for this one, I'll call this household expenses. I'm splitting this up like this because these items I'll put in here will be things that are tied directly to my apartment. So the first one would be my rent. Oh, little typo there. And this is £450. Next is electricity, and this will be £28.42. Next is water. This is £17.35. I've just noticed my chair is a bit squeaky, so if you hear some squeakiness in the background, it's the chair. I should probably get that replaced. Maybe when I get out of debt, I can buy a nice new chair that doesn't squeak. Next is renter's insurance. And this is very small, this is £6.60. And finally, council tax. And this is £104. So after budgeting my debts, my sinking funds and household expenses, it leaves me with £313.38. The next expense group I want to add is personal bills. I'm just going to call this bills. There's not many in here. I would put in here things like phone, internet, Netflix, this kind of stuff. I actually use my parents' Netflix still, so that's lucky. So in this group, I'm going to first add my phone bill. And I have a very cheap phone bill because I already paid for my phone outright, and I've had the same contract for years, and I had a really good deal and I've kept it. This contract doesn't actually exist anymore. It's actually only £11, which is amazing. Next is internet, and this is £29. This is also a really good deal. And finally, I do pay for some cloud storage, and this works out at £2.38. So after my bills, household expenses, sinking funds and debts, I have £271 left to budget. So finally, the final group I will add is what I like to call the general section. And this is where I'll spend most of my time during the month, adding transactions and adjusting them, because it includes things like groceries and miscellaneous items, and you'll see when I add these items here. So the first one is groceries. I did just check that is how you spell groceries. I thought I was going crazy. So for this month, my budget for groceries is £150. That might seem small or large compared to your circumstances. For me, I'm a single guy living on my own and I don't really need to spend that much on groceries. And this actually is more than I would normally spend, but January is a 5-week month, so it's around £30 a month. The next one is toiletries. I feel like this is a word that's hard to spell as well. I hope I got that right, and this is £20. Household items. This includes things like washing up liquid, bleach, cleaning products, this sort of thing, and this comes to £30. Next is haircut. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get one in January, considering where I live has just gone into tier 4 in the UK, which means that everything is shut, including hairdressers. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to save this money, but I'll put it in my budget group for now. So this is £21. And finally, we have a miscellaneous category, and it's really important to have a miscellaneous category because you don't want those small unexpected expenses to throw off your entire budget. You might have forgotten about £1 or £2 here or there on something. It's good to just have this miscellaneous category so you don't have to keep going in and tweaking all the different items. So for me, I have this miscellaneous category and this is £50. And if I've got this right, fingers crossed, if we scroll up now, I should have, and I do have £0 left to budget. So that means all of these expenses should add up to £2,082.45. And this is great because it means all of my income is allocated, whether it's my actual expenses or savings or debts. So I'm not going into more debt and I'm able to pay myself first by saving for the things that I need to save. So that's my budget for January 2021. It's been fairly straightforward for me. As I said, I've been doing this for a while. I started on this web application about a year ago, but I was doing budgets on Excel before then. So I've been doing this for quite a long time. If you haven't budgeted before, please give it a go. It is quite hard the first few times, but you get the hang of it really quickly and it becomes quite fun to do if you like that sort of thing. And it is 100% the first step to take if you want to improve your personal finances and achieve financial goals. If you want to use this application, it's currently online. It's 100% free. There's no costs. You don't have to put in any bank details or anything like that. You can change the currency, so obviously I have it set up for pounds, but you can go to settings and change it to dollars and a number of other currencies. So that's all for today. I hope you find that interesting and I hope it encourages you to do a budget if you don't already. My plan is to make 2 of these videos a month. The first one will be like this one, which will be creating a new budget, and then I'll be creating a video a few days after the start of the month, which will look at the previous month and look at how I did for that previous month. And so my next budget video will be actually another one similar to this. It will be a February 2021 budget, and then a few days into February I'll do a budget update on my January budget, which I've made here, and we can go through and look at how I got on during the month of January. If you'd like to see that and see other videos related to personal finance, health and fitness and travel, then feel free to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and see you again next time.